We have a blockbuster trade in the NBA. Taylor Swift has put the NFL on the map, and we go down the rabbit hole with a Simpsons writer. This is the We Don't Know Sports podcast. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the We Don't Know Sports podcast. This is Chad the Mark with
Mr. Brown
and Canadian Big. Welcome back, Mongo. Hi, Mongo. You and me had some fun. We did an interview with a Simpsons writer.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I mean, that's an interview you want to check out.
So Joel H. Cohen.
Joel H. Cohen.
We learned that there's like 15 Joel Cohens.
And not to be confused with his brother, Robert.
I did that many times.
Yes.
He stormed off the interview because I really want to talk to his brother. But he stuck around after. We had to let him get out of his system, but I guess I should do a better job doing research and not insult the guest.
Did you call him Chris Everett?
No, I did not.
Right.
That would have been good, though.
Well, then you're okay then.
He said, I bet you want to talk about my brother again. Yeah. And I said, I bet I will. Oh, shit. There's so much to talk about, though. We got that interview as part of the show. We got our other weekly episode we do with the NFL Stone Cold Lead Pipe Locks of the Week. You want to give a little teaser? Where you ranked at, Mongo?
I'm not one to brag, but I am number 5 nationally.
How does that feel?
Honestly, I'm kind of shocked.
Are you jealous, Mr. Brown?
I just want to know, has Maurice Jones-Drew called or texted you yet to figure out what your secret is?
He's top 10.
I know,
he's
that's
right
what I'm
there.
saying.
He's right there.
You're competing with Maurice Jones-Drew right now, and I figure you would be in cahoots and figure it out. Both stay at the top.
We had brunch and mimosas on Sunday.
I saw those photos.
Yeah.
So, no wonder. Once you get that level, man, you just start networking, and it's game over for the rest of us.
I have a confession.
Okay.
I've never had a mimosa in my life.
Oh,
You are missing
You're
out.
missing out, Chad.
Oh, so
You want to know what Chad has never had a mimosa? Because he works every weekend. Mimosas are a Saturday morning thing.
Like,
Amen.
I desire one.
Hey, man, real quick for me. So I've had 2 mimosas in my life. One at the World Series because you're at the World Series and the game starts at 8 and I'm there at 11. So, yeah, I double-fisted a few mimosas, okay? So don't judge me. So I'm good there. Secondly, you go to Shuckers in St. Albans, West Virginia. They have a brunch from 10 to 2. I had a caramel apple mimosa. I had 2 of them for breakfast with my steak and eggs, and it was heavenly.
It does sound amazing.
What about...
I got pictures.
Should I go to like Cracker Barrel just to get one and knock it off the list, or
No,
would that be
don't do
a
that.
terrible decision?
Come
to do
with
first?
me on a Saturday at Shuckers for brunch.
All right.
I'll pay for your meal.
You got me down. I'm ready to go. So what is it just orange juice and
There's several different variations of it. Yeah.
what did you say you had a caramel apple mimosa?
Yes.
You can do strawberry,
Yeah.
all kinds of...
I always thought it was like a chick drink.
Oh,
So-
who cares?
One of my
I don't
favorite,
care.
I didn't know.
I'm secure with myself.
one of the favorite tailgates I ever went to.
I'm glad.
It's a noon kickoff, so instead of doing your typical beer and your steak and your burgers, they did mimosas with breakfast food. You had sausage, eggs, pancakes, French toast, and mimosas. That led you up to NDSU kickoff. God, that was a good Saturday.
Man, I could eat breakfast all day too. Like, could you drink mimosas all day? Is that something you would
That's
enjoy?
what you
No.
start with.
You
Just
you
start with
So,
it.
are you a Bloody Mary guy?
I do like Bloody
All right,
Marys.
so then same thing. So what's your favorite Bloody Mary?
Like a spicy one.
Yeah,
Give me
like-
something with some heat.
What
in it.
all's in there?
You
though?
got all the ingredients.
I don't
like
know.
Chicken wing.
I was on
Is there
a.
some with a lobster tail?
I've only had them on like airplane flights. Maybe once at a restaurant in the Poconos.
Right.
I was staying up there. They had them heart-shaped bathtubs.
Oh yeah, with
You
the
know?
mirrors on the ceilings.
Hell, they had like carpet on the ceilings.
That's
It was one of them places. They remodeled them in
And
like
you get the best,
1974.
angle of your asshole, in those mirrors.
I did take a picture one time, and there was too many mirrors, and that was a mistake. And I quickly deleted that.
Oh, that's good.
But
Unintentional
we
dick
all
pic.
know what happens in
Yes.
those hotels.
well, yeah, they're called love hotels for a reason. But
All right.
we could talk about this all day.
Have you ever... I'll tell you new experiences. Brazilian steakhouse. If I ate at my first Brazilian steakhouse.
I can see that's surprising to me because you travel much. And I feel like that'd be something you would have knocked off already.
No, I mean, it was great. If you haven't tried it, you have this card you put on the table, and the green side's up. They keep bringing you meat, and if you don't want any more, you flip it over to the red side.
Have you all eaten that one?
I have not.
What?
No.
Yeah, they just keep.
No, I've heard of them.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
been told that it's
I've heard about it.
an amazing experience. I've never been.
Filet mignon.
You end up with the meat sweats.
You do. Did they have the like dessert pineapple they bring out too? Did they do that
the
one?
dessert pineapple was wonderful.
They like grill a pineapple and like cover it in cinnamon or something.
Cinnamon, sugary goodness.
Son,
Diabetes type 3, baby. It's where we're at.
that's heavenly.
I'll tell you, like I wasn't hungry when I went in, and I still probably ate like 6-7 pounds of meat.
Well, you have to.
Yeah.
Like you don't go to Golden Corral and get one plate.
I didn't know about the card that
You
I was
just left
supposed
it
to
up?
turn it over when I was done, and they just kept bringing me meat. Now,
Did they have a yellow?
there's no yellow.
It was just green and red?
Green and red.
Yellow is like, take your time. I'm digesting. I need a minute.
No, I'm still digesting. I woke up the next day and I shit meat. There wasn't even anything else with it.
Bone and all, huh?
It was just like a brisket came out.
Ham hock.
Hey,
This wasn't appealing at all for me until you all just gave me this spiel, and now, damn it, I've got to go check
there's
it out.
one in Canal City.
I know, I knew that.
The Texas Day
you
Grill or
two-
whatever.
I didn't know
Has
that.
now turned me on to this, and I have to go check it out from a local meat sweat.
So-
This sounds like a we don't know sports road trip.
Yes, we need to do that. Now, I wasn't hating on the one in Canal City, but it is not a sophisticated one. It's in an old Shoney's.
We can record that. Let's
So-
go there for meat sweat.
I
I
felt
don't know.
like
I'd be
mine-
embarrassed after watching myself eat one of them. Card after card. They bring it out like on this metal skewer,
I heard you're like,
and they cut it
I
off.
heard you like about a half-pound alligator each time you go.
I do. Little alligator.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's in there too. It's all good.
It's probably crocodiles.
Just go with the fat guys. We'll take care of your little skinny ass.
Let's
We'll
go.
eat your food. Chad, I have a question. Brazilian Steakhouse.
Yes.
Unlimited food. That meat's just coming in. Would that
she
be the
said.
equivalent of saying, I'm not sure how long I'm going to play here and then getting Damian Lillard?
Yeah, I like what you did there. That was a segue. I was getting ready to cut a promo about how this has been the foodie podcast with the We Don't Know Sports crew, but instead we are going to talk about some sports. And yes, the Bucks are not too fat to say they don't want more. They wanted some more Dame Lillard. This sent shockwaves through the NBA. Now people are calling for tampering charges and things like that against the Bucks because they're mad. The Bucks are already a title contender. Now what are they? How do you guys feel about this move? What is the landscape of the NBA like to you now?
I'm telling you right now, Vegas is saying the Bucks are the odds-on favorite to win the championship this year.
No shit.
I mean, it is what it is.
They didn't give up much either.
No, they give
Drew
up Drew
Holiday
Holiday.
is their big loss there.
But they got Dame Lillard.
So their projected starting five is Dame Lillard and Chris Middleton in the backcourt with
So I would have thought for sure they lost
Jay
Middleton.
Crowder, who is a perfect player for
Perfect role player.
that dog, that guy. Giannis at the 4 and Brooke Lopez at the 5.
Yeah, they're favorites for sure.
How old is Jay Crowder though?
He's 33.
That's not their
Lillard's
that's
33.
not bad.
They got a couple older
that's
guys.
not-
He's got a job to do.
Yeah.
That's all he is.
You can throw in a player for that, but he's there for a reason.
The other thing that'll be interesting about the Bucks this year is they won a title with Mike Budenholzer as their coach.
They fired him.
They fired him. They got Adrian Griffin in there, first year head coach.
What kind of pressure is that on your
bullshit.
first
That's
year?
some bullshit, though.
It's none of this it might take a year or two for us to get together and get it to gel. No, you got to win a damn
That's
title
bullshit,
now.
though. Free coach Bud. Did he latch on anywhere else?
He did go somewhere. I can't remember where.
I don't
This
remember
is
where
how
he
much
went.
we follow the NBA.
No, I'm just
Y'all
saying.
keep talking while I look it
No,
up.
because I'm telling you, he's done an amazing job in Milwaukee. And the fact is, they're like, that's not
Well,
good
he had
enough.
done a good job everywhere he's been.
And then all of a sudden now, you get this guy, and it's like, oh, we won championships? That ain't on the coach, man. I'm sorry you brought in better players.
Is there anybody you think in the East right now that could compete with him?
Miami or Boston, that's it.
Man, don't you feel
Yeah,
like
and
Boston's
the thing
kind of
about Boston
disappointed?
is they got rid of Marcus Smart, and I don't like that move because he He got that dog in him. I loved him on the defensive end.
Well, then they get Porzingis.
Who's never going to play. So
He don't
essentially,
play.
they just lost Smart for
So
nothing.
you basically traded for a crippled unicorn, right?
I would agree with that. When's the last time Porzingis played more than 40 games in a season?
I don't know.
Like
No one
4 or 5
cares.
years ago?
No, he hasn't brought his skills anywhere.
And then you look Miami. Miami's always going to be good. They're like the one NBA team that actually has like a culture to them.
Yeah.
Outside of that, Philly got worse.
Miami, you got the biggest dog in the league with Jimmy Butler, and you got the longest, probably the longest tenured coach behind Popovich, Spoelstra. I mean, it's like a college campus down there in Miami, and that's why Miami's one of the most consistent teams in the NBA in the last decade.
Can I read you a Wikipedia excerpt from Budenholzer? So he's nowhere right now. Nobody has picked him up, which is crazy. But this is clearly an edit somebody has put in here. It says, in the 2022-23 season, the Bucks finished the regular season with the best record in the league. However, Budenholzer was fired by the Bucks on May 4th after the team lost in 5 games in the first round of the Heat, who eventually would become the first 8 seed to reach the finals. As a result of the series loss being partially attributed to Giannis's injury and Budenholzer losing his brother in a car crash during the series, the move was controversial among fans. Some felt it was the right time, and others felt like it was in poor taste. I didn't know his brother died during the playoff series. Did you know that?
No. Now, I'm sure it was in the news, but I missed it.
Yeah, I just remember Giannis' injury. I don't remember his brother dying.
Right. That's kind of shitty, man. Like your brother died. Sorry, we're firing you because you didn't get it done. Sorry, your priorities weren't aligned.
Thanks for that ring you helped bring us for more than 50
What the
years.
hell?
But
No.
Man. Well, maybe I don't know. Do the players not like Budenholzer? Is that a thing?
Coach Bud, I think that he was enjoyed.
Yeah.
I think he was
I
liked.
mean, yeah. They
You never really heard a bad thing about him.
nothing.
People would say he got out-coached some, but I don't know.
He's kind of been that guy that's always done more with less, and he's had a lot lately. So maybe he needs to go to one of these up-and-coming teams and try to make something happen. I don't know. But I didn't know his brother died and they fired him. I think that's kind of shitty. It's going to be hard for me to be a Bucks fan, even though it's exciting. But you said you were going to be rooting for him kind of in the closet here. You're a Bulls fan, Mr. Brown, but this has got you excited?
Why wouldn't you be excited? I love Giannis this whole time.
Some people get mad because now it's like Giannis was talking about never doing the super team thing, and here they are doing the super team, but they did come to him.
The
This
thing is,
ain't-
it's because they came to him.
Okay.
That's the difference.
Just making
This
sure.
ain't a super team either.
He didn't leave. And I can't blame Lillard. I don't think.
Portland didn't do anything to help him.
No, he tried to stay.
Yeah. You can't, it's like the Kevin Garnett situation.
Yeah.
You spent a decade at a team you couldn't do anything with. Now it's time to move on.
Here's all I'm saying. A Bulls fan since around 1990, okay? You can say 91 if it's the first year they won.
I'll give you before that. I don't want you to be a bandwagon.
All right, but my point is, I stuck with him through the Marcus Pfizer, Eddie Curry days,
I remember Marcus Pfizer.
and
Iowa
Kurt
State.
Heinrich days, and I've been with the Bulls ever since. Well, it's hard to watch, and the fact is, they're still my team, but if Milwaukee wins it all, I'll be cheering for them.
You're gradually switching to the fan of all teams that wear green. I've picked up on that.
Is that what's happening?
You ain't sneaking nothing by me.
We're going to have to dive into that later. So we got tons of NFL to talk about. We got baseball season winding down. We're going to get to all that, but let's go ahead and kick it over to our interview with Joel H. Cohen. He's a writer for The Simpsons. He's
23 years.
he's like OG. So he did our interview and then had to go leave to talk to a producer or something about this because the writer's strike is over. So we got to talk about that a little bit. And he's got this incredible book coming out that he co-wrote with Dan Patrick. So we talk a little bit about that. But anyway, let's send it over to the interview. Check it out. And we'll see you on the other side after we pay some bills. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So, we try to find some of the most interesting people in the world. And sometimes there's a sports connection. Sometimes there's even more. And Man, Mr. Cohen here hits right up our alley. He was a writer on the Simpsons, SNL, and then I can't believe Biggie's not here with us, but he's such a big Dan Patrick fan, and we're definitely going to get a chance to talk about some more writing that he's got going on. But want to welcome to the show, Mr. Joel H. Cohen. How are you doing, Joel?
I'm good, thank you. I'm disappointed Biggie's not here either. He's Canadian, isn't he?
Well, that's what we call him, Canadian Biggie. And, he's actually got that moniker because he lived in North Dakota for a while. So we do it to be mean. But speaking of Canadians, are you a big Joey Votto fan? I got to ask because I'm a Reds fan.
Yeah, he's great. When you're from Canada and there's any athlete that breaks through on any level, like remember Larry Walker or there's a couple of basketball players. I'm forgetting the guy's name now.
It's a short list. It's okay. I understand.
Yeah, of course, hockey, there's no shortage. But when we have anybody break through in any capacity, Ruben Mays, if you remember that name, guys like that played anywhere in any sport, you're like a huge fan of theirs. And Joey Votto, of course, is great regardless.
Hall of Famer?
Yeah, totally.
I like him already. See, we're off to a rousing start. I love it. Yeah. But, hey, we're going to talk about the occasional accurate annals of football, and we're going to get into that, the how and the why and all that stuff. But you got too much of an interesting background to just like jump into the current event stuff. You can't be the guy that does the concert and plays the stuff off the new album. We got to hear the hits, man. That's what it's about.
Well, I'm impressed and saddened to think that there are any hits, but let's go down the list all the same. Let's play along.
All right. So I was able to use the internet and find a little bit more about the Simpsons stuff. So I'll get to that in a second, but you were also a writer on SNL. So when did you work there?
Man, I've got some bad news for you about the internet. It's not always accurate. My brother, who's also a writer and a director, he worked at SNL. And then it's on my Wikipedia page. But usually there's something on your Wikipedia page you want to change. This is something I never want to change. Right. So I just lie, fester, and grow. But I never worked there. I've attended one of the tapings. Does that count? Is that the same thing?
Well, it says here on the Wikipedia edit history that you're the one that said you worked on SNL. So.
Damn it. Busted.
Well, I tell you, I might have got confused, but that's why I did such an important thing at the beginning when I introduced you. I made sure I said Joel H. Cohen because there's like a million of you guys. Are you one of the Cohen brothers too? Like, do you make those movies?
Well, I've got a long answer. I always tell people I am at best the third most worthy Joel Cohen, because there's Joel and Ethan Cohen, which are the Cohen brothers, but there's Coen. I'll come to them in 1 second. Then there's a guy that wrote like Toy Story, the movie Toy Story, whose name is Joel Cohen, just like mine. And one time when it's something you write re-airs on TV, you maybe know this, you get a residual check for it re-airing. So I got one of his residual checks for the movie Garfield. And I was like, all right. But I sent it to him. I sent it back, and then I said there's a screw up. And then I started thinking, what if this guy's getting my Simpson residuals that hasn't sent them to me at all? So now I want to murder the other Joel Cohen, and then hope there's a clerical error and the other Joel Cohen goes to jail for it. But we haven't got there.
We've got the evidence recorded now.
Yes, totally.
Yeah, so please don't act on those carnal instincts.
No, I'm not making any promises, man. This is like an admission before the crime. And you guys are getting it first.
It's like, what was that movie with Tom Cruise when they predicted the future crimes? Is that
Minority Report?
Yes, that's what we're doing. Yeah. It's a little Minority Report here.
Or maybe shows like The Simpsons that predict the
future. Totally.
Yeah. So you were a writer for The Simpsons, though, correct? Like we do have that.
Not only am. When I hang up with you guys, I'm actually going to start work on an episode of The Simpsons at 3:45. I mean, we can talk till whenever, but when we hang up.
Well, it's about a bunch of losers doing podcasts. We'll know where inspiration came from.
This is research. I can write this off.
Market research. So I did see that your brother, did he do the Flaming Moe's, or was that
you? Did.
Okay. So I'm trying to make sure. I don't want to discredit anybody incorrectly here. It might feel like I took a residual check or something.
This podcast seems to be more about my brother than me. If I can figure out how to storm out of a podcast, I would.
I know. You just gotta, you can't hang up phones angrily anymore.
Slam my computer or something.
All right, so let's put some respect on the name. So how long have you been working with The Simpsons?
I have been there 23 years and counting.
Wow, that's insane. Whenever I was looking at some of the episodes, I was going back to 2000, 2003. Even then, it was like season 12 or something insane like that. So what's it like to be part of that team?
It's crazy. I actually started in season 12. 17 episodes into season 12 was my first day. I worked on one other horrible TV show, Suddenly Susan, if you guys remember that one.
I have that in my notes, but I wasn't going to bring it up unless you did.
Oh, it's a dark moment in my life, in America's life.
Is that Brooke Shields?
Who is the most lovely person in the world? Okay. We just all, have been scrubbing Wikipedia with steel wool, trying to get that off all of our pages. But I was going to say that amazing people worked on that show, like Brooke Shields and like all the other writers, but it was a bad show. Simpsons is the opposite, not the opposite, it's that there's really great people, and we have this show we can also kind of be proud of. So
do the Simpsons, apparently, always predicting stuff. So let me ask you, just how did it come to be to get on the show? Like, it seems like, we hear the stories about all the people that have been writers on there, or people like Conan O'Brien and whatnot. Like, so what was your story, and how did you venture your way into Springfield?
Well, I was a very weird path in university. I have a degree in biology and a business degree, and I worked in the business world for 7 years, and my last job was here in LA, and I thought, hey, maybe I want to be a writer. And my brother, who you guys seem to love and can't stop talking about, actually introduced me to Kathy Griffin. Do you know Kathy Griffin, the comedian?
We do. The red-haired, somewhat kind of crazy now, maybe, I think. I don't know.
Crazy then too, but super funny, super nice to me. So she actually and I got along quite well, and I started writing jokes for her for like award shows in like Vegas and stuff. And then she was on Suddenly Susan and really went to bat for me and said, hey, you should hire this guy. Nice. They did. And then after my 1 year on Suddenly Susan, when America woke up and the show got canceled, one of my bosses on Suddenly Susan recommended me to the head writer of The Simpsons. And that's it. I was out of work for 3 weeks and I've been there 23 years.
That's not too shabby. So yeah. What are the episodes that you're most proud of? And fact check me here real quick. Are the three Emmys and the 3 Writers Guild Awards yours, or does that belong to
another? Those are mine.
All right. See, we're putting some respect back on Joel's name.
Yeah, no, there's some embarrassing awards too, but we don't have to talk about those.
I kind of want to now, but let's talk about the good ones. So maybe not even the awards, but like what are your favorite ones that you were a part of? And is there any ones that you were like the lead on, or your story completely?
Yeah, I have written on my own 36 episodes, which is a sizable amount. Some of the ones I love the most, I wrote one that was on TV last year, trying to bring it back to sports, called Top Goon, like Top Gun, but Top Goon. And it was about Nelson the bully becomes the enforcer on Bart's hockey team. And we actually cast as a Top Goon Academy some actual former hockey goons like Dave Schultz and Stu the Grim Reaper Grimson and Dave Tiger Williams to actually be like the instructors at the Goon Academy. And that turned out pretty well, I think. And I have a couple of them coming on in the next few months as well that I'm proud of. So there's a lot. There's some I'm embarrassed of, but there's some I'm proud of.
Mr. Brown, one of our co-hosts is over here in the corner. Do we have a Simpsons picture somewhere here? Do you have that? Yeah. See if you can find that real quick. We might have something. We're gonna again tying it back to sports here, but
yeah,
I remember the hockey episode way back in the day when like Lisa and Bart were facing off, and it was like the parents trying to decide like who they were cheering for and all that. Yeah. Those were good, but. One of the we have in the man cave here in the We Don't Know Sports Studios, we have a bunch of memorabilia hanging up, and one of these wonderful players, this is Steve Sachs, who
in the baseball episode.
Yeah, and so we got his autograph here, and we asked for the Simpsons thing to be a part of it. He was kind enough to oblige, but our co-host, Mr. Brown, he's got a group on Facebook with like 400 baseball players in there, and Steve Sachs is one of them. So there's our Simpsons tie-in.
No, that's super cool. Yeah, and when we did this hockey episode, and we had to make sure we weren't kind of covering the same ground of that. I think it's called Bart and Lisa on Ice, or Lisa on Ice. It's called Lisa on Ice. So we had to find a little bit different twist to it. So found this one about violence, which is always a good place to go.
Well, you probably do feel like you've already done everything, right? Like as a Simpsons writer, like you guys have been around for so long.
It's crazy, man. Like we've done everything 7 times. We just try to find a way to make it feel different the 8th time. Like, well, Bart hasn't done it, or he hasn't done it wearing a different shirt. Let's try that. So we know we're covering the same ground. We just try to spin it a little, and every now and then we do have new ideas.
So what are like your Mount Rushmore episodes that you like?
Oh wow! Well, I love my very first day. I was talking about season 12, episode 17 was this episode called Behind the Laughter. I don't know if you guys have seen that one. Do you remember Behind the Music on
I was
VH1?
going to ask if that was the reference. I feel like I've
Yes.
seen this one.
Oh, that's a great episode. It actually won the Emmy as well that year. But that was my very first day as I watched that episode with all these writers. And I was like, this is one of the best things I've ever seen. Then we went back into the writer's room and everybody had these really smart, incredible notes and jokes that just elevated it to another level. So that's like a super classic. I love Flaming Moe. I'm trying to think of some other ones. There's some more recent ones. There's one called The Book Job that I really love. There's another one we all call Manicheck, but it's got Bill Hader as this insurance investigator. I wish I could tell you the name of it, but there's some great episodes, even the current seasons. And then, I really like this hockey episode as well, Top Goon, and I have one coming on in December that's, I think, not on the Mount Rushmore, but you drive past it to get to Mount Rushmore.
Okay. So you're saying it's coming out in December. Did you guys get, what was it like going through the writer's strike this year? Like, how's that affecting you?
It was brutal, man. It just literally just ended, the strike ended at midnight a day and a half ago. And as I said, later tonight, because my boss is in Australia, because he didn't think the strike was going to be over. So I'm jumping on a Zoom with him and we're going to start working on cleaning up some episodes and stuff. But it was rough. It was almost the longest strike ever. But I think universally people agree that the outcome was worth it because it was really a necessary strike in preserving the job of being a writer for the long term, and it succeeded in sort of securing a lot of these things that are needed to do that.
So for idiots out there that don't know what was involved with the strike there, what were the biggest things you guys were hoping got cleaned up there?
One of the big, it's sort of, I'm trying to make it in a bit of layman's terms, but what has happened with streaming is that there's so many shows, but a lot of them are, like I work on The Simpsons, we do 22 episodes, but as people that watch shows on Netflix or whatever, sometimes they'll do 6, 8, 10, whatever. So a lot of those writers would only be working for a very short time of the year, but they would still have their contracts saying they can't take another job in case they get picked up for another season. So that's called span. Another issue was that they would sometimes just hire writers for like 3 weeks, 5 weeks, and then fire them all after the scripts are written. And only one writer would kind of oversee production. And that was this idea of these things called mini rooms. And then we talked about residuals already, but residuals on streaming were like non-existent, even though we know shows are giant runaway hits on Netflix, for example. I don't want to pick on Netflix, but they deserve
No, like I think we can pick on Netflix because like whenever I
right?
was reading about it, like that was like the main culprit. They don't have, they do more original things now, but they've just built this catalog of grabbing stuff. And I guess there's no residuals whatsoever when it comes to that. Like they pay the company, whoever they're getting it from, like a fee, and that's it, right?
Yeah, and I know some people hear this idea of residuals and like, well, why should you get them? But the point of residuals is that because people sometimes can only work 10 weeks a year or have to do 3 or 4 jobs, the residuals are kind of like a hammock safety net that kind of helps you actually have an income. And I don't mean a luxurious income. I mean like, above poverty income because you're living off these residuals. So it's an important part of kind of securing this vagabond lifestyle of being a writer.
Netflix is shady.
Yeah, I agree.
Before Nielsen ratings put their ratings out on their content, they were listing their own content as the most viewed shows on their platform. After Nielsen put out the ratings, it was discovered that it was all content that was purchased from other people, other vendors.
Yeah, one of the issues was we just wanted, if the show does well and we're associated with it, we want to benefit a little bit more. And if it does poorly, we take that risk and we'll do worse. But they would not share any of the data for streaming. And at one point they said 6 people from the Writers Guild can come to our office and we'll show them the data, but they can't tell anyone on the show what they've seen and they can't talk about it for 3 years. It was like the dumbest proposal. That one got kind of worked around. But anyway.
Yeah, that's creative.
Yeah, it's creative. But anyway, it all worked out and we're ready to be exploited again.
Yeah, I am ready to exploit your all's labor as well because it's been boring without new stuff. It's I don't know. Like my wife is always complaining like there's no new movies. I was like, well, yeah, nothing's happening. It's been kind of boring.
Well, and you haven't even felt the brunt of it yet, right? Because there's been 5 months where nobody did anything, and that stuff would normally be on 4 months from now, 5 months from now. So you like I don't know what shows you love. Let's just say Abbott Elementary. that normally would be on like right now, and they probably won't be on until January now. So you're going to feel it now.
Yeah, it's going to be a dark winter. That's all I know.
You're going to have to talk to your wife. Brace yourself.
I know, right? We're going to have to work on our relationship, I guess. But all right, let's bring it back to some current event things. So you got the book, partnership with Dan Patrick. So tell us how that kind of came about, and what all should we expect out of the book?
Well, it's a great segue after the fact, because what happened was the Simpsons episode that I have coming up in December is about, you guys remember that thing where two guys got busted for putting lead weights in their fish at the fishing derby? Do you remember that story?
Yes. It was the walleye or bass tournament or something like that. I can't remember.
Like that. Yeah. So that talk about trying to find a new story, that generated a new story where Homer does pretty much the same thing, and all of a sudden gets addicted to cheating and winning all these competitions, and has Bart as his little sidekick. And one of the events he cheats at is a rock skipping contest. We have Bart with a fishing line on the other side of the lake, reeling the rock in so it bounces. But the narrator, we needed a sportscaster, and I was like, let's go for Dan Patrick. He's amazing. He's funny. And we did. And I was lucky enough to meet him and direct him, and we recorded his voice. And then he and I just started talking as we were doing that. And, what he's telling me stuff he thought was kind of funny in the world of football. And I told him stuff I thought was funny. And after we just kept talking for a while, we're like, maybe this is a book. And voila, it is a book. So to answer the second half of the question, the book is really just that, like two guys, Dan, of course, with much broader knowledge base than me, but like looking at football. We've all read a million boring books about football and some great boring books about football, but let's have a fun/funny look at football, at trash talk, at the first down line, at the origin of every team, at players, great players, idiot players. The Wizinator is in there, if you remember the guy.
Yeah, Ontario Smith, is that who that was?
Ontario Smith. He's got a whole little paragraph about the Wizinator. We expect Wizinator sales to go through the roof after this book comes out. But anyways, that's it. It's a fun look at the NFL. It's meant to make you laugh. You will also learn, because we cover the history of the league, and we actually do delve into every team and a lot of players. But it's really just for fans, fun/funny look at the NFL.
Mongo here's a Bears fan. If you had to tell him anything to kind of make him not feel, so down and depressed, is there anything?
He's already shaking his head no.
No, I mean, we talk about the Super Bowl shuffle. Maybe you could just put the Super Bowl shuffle on loop and just put yourself to sleep, turn the gas on, just, find some solace somewhere.
So you talk about fixing the Jets.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well,
can you fix the Jets?
We claim to have a foolproof plan to fix the Jets. So we talk about, the Jets, their origin, and how they even chose early on to be this franchise dedicated to failure, and then even screwed that up by winning the Super Bowl, in 1969. So they couldn't even fail properly. But then we kind of talk about the Belichick thing, and we talk about, just why they were even called the Jets, why they're located next to whatever airport they're next to. And we go through all the mistakes they've made. We tell them when they're about to draft, just whatever you're about to do the opposite, or just watch ESPN where they say the next guy the Jets should draft, and just do whatever the guy on TV said. Like, don't use your brains. And then ultimately at the end, we kind of build to this resolution that declares that since they were named the Jets and built where they were because they were built next to an airport, we suggest they move to Portland because it's got a great airport. And then also hoping for some clerical error on the score sheet, we also suggest they be called the Patriots, so that maybe if they ever play the Patriots, someone will get confused and give them the points they would have given to the actual Patriots. So Portland Patriots is the end result of our plan to fix the Jets.
So basically there is no plan to fix them. It's just destroy them so they don't exist anymore.
Just move them and forget they ever were the Jets. It's like deprogramming someone that was in a cult. You got to get
no lineage. You're not going to be exactly. Like, you can't be the Titans and break out the Oilers unis anymore. It's like, no, we don't know what you're talking about. We've always
who
been.
Who are they? Exactly.
Joel, are you a fantasy football player?
Oh, I've got a sickness, man. I'm in deep. I cut down to 3 teams this year. How about you guys?
So I do a couple. How many do you do?
Just 5.
Just 5.
Oh boy, I can see in your eyes. This is a call for help, isn't it?
I got an itch.
I know. I wish I could help you.
DraftKings helped me not do fantasy as much. I'll just do real gambling.
Yeah.
Hey, I happen to do both fantasy, 2 pick'em pools, and a DraftKings with a couple buddies every week. And then whatever, if I want to put some bets online on the side.
So we do a pick against the spread every week, and Mongo here is ranked number 5 nationally so far this year.
Wow!
So
you got to do my picks for me.
Give him a shot. I'm saying that to put pressure on him so he'll crumble and not make us look so bad by comparison. But we'll see how he does.
And also, to be fair, the nation we're talking about is Liechtenstein, right? It's not America.
Yeah, I didn't specify.
No, thank you.
He is on there's a website called Pick Watch, and they do a really good job polling every person, like from ESPN, Bleacher Report, NFL, whoever your so-called experts are, and they put them on there. And we bribed them to give us a blue check mark for us, and Mongo is making us look bad. I'm ranked like 239th. I mean, nothing, not that I wouldn't say that's impressive.
That's pretty good.
Only 241.
But shut up.
Still, it's very impressive because I don't know. Whatever the lowest number is, I'm below that on that thing.
We're talking to Joel Cohen about the occasionally accurate annals of football, and we're getting into fantasy and gambling and things like that. So let's try to not go too degenerate here and bring it back. So, what was it like working on the book with Dan? And do you got any other favorite excerpts out of there? I know we were talking about the Jets story and things like that, but anything else? If you want to give a little sneak peek, try to entice the listeners to go pick it up.
Yeah, for sure. What's that?
Yeah, did you go to brunch? Did you have mimosas?
How about this? I've never actually met Dan in person. I've been tased by his security, but never got through them. No, he's in Connecticut. I'm in LA. So we text, we talk on the phone, we've Zoomed a billion times, but working with him was great. We just both had almost too many ideas. Honestly, we had to cut a lot of them down. So, I'm just picking some off the top of my head, but Dan had a funny idea of comparing Tom Brady's diet to Kenny Stabler's diet. If you remember Kenny Stabler, like crazy partier. Like Tom Brady only eats has the Tom Brady diet, and he only eats fish that themselves are on the Tom Brady diet. And then Kenny Stabler wakes up and has a bacon wrapped cigarette for breakfast, that kind of thing. So just that's one thing. We talk about the best and worst trash talk conversations that have been picked up in fumble pileups. We look at all the media, including a pretty hard-hitting look at Dan himself that he responds to. We talk about, technology in the game. Like I said, every team. I'm trying to think of funny excerpts. There's a few drawings, not a lot. There's a goofy crossword puzzle just to fill a page. Lots of fun stuff about every facet of the game.
So you also wrote a book about training or running a marathon. Did I see that correctly?
That is correct, yes.
So I have a brother-in-law that's ran in the Boston Marathon, New York Marathon, Chicago Marathon. He's done a few different ones. So was it the New York you were training for?
Well, I did New York, and then after the fact, I did Chicago, and then I did half of LA.
Okay.
I just thought I'd already done 2, and I'd halfway through, I was kind of getting the part of LA I kind of live in. So I was like, yeah, I've kind of seen this before, and my foot kind of hurts. Called an Uber and went home.
I like that.
Like
could have pulled up, was that Rosie Perez or what was her name?
Ruiz
Perez is the actress.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she might have done it too, though. Don't let her off the hook. We don't. She hasn't.
I don't know. She was fierce in White Man Can't Jump. You remember that? Yeah. She was a ball of fire. I don't know why I thought she was running marathons, but
well, maybe this will get her off her ass and get her out there doing something. If you're listening, Rosie, it's a challenge.
So, do you have well, let me back up. What made you decide to be a crazy person that runs marathons?
You know what? I despise running. And if anyone, I'm not pushing that book, but it's called How to Lose a Marathon. But if anyone is interested, that book is really about I hated running from the minute I did it. I read this book called Born to Run, which is by, I think,
Bruce Springsteen.
I wish it was by Christopher McDonough. It's a great book. And it talks about all these people that love running. And I was like, there's people out there that love running. What the hell? So I thought I'm going to try it. I got an app. I did 3 steps, then 5 steps. Then you get addicted to the stats and trying to beat yourself. And then there was a program you could follow in the app that just 4 months to a marathon. So I'm like, all right, I hate myself. Let's do this. And 4 months later, I ran the New York Marathon.
So you want to throw the time up? What would you?
Yeah, I think. Well, I'll set it up. That the part of the book and part of my research is that Oprah Winfrey ran a marathon. So you're starting to understand there's all levels of runners. And there's a thing in the running community called the Oprah line, which is 4 hours and 30 minutes. So that's what Oprah ran, was 4 hours and 30 minutes. So I felt like
You just had to beat Oprah.
I would like to finish in one capacity in life. I'd like to be better than Oprah. So I was 4:26 and maybe say 25 seconds or 27 seconds. So I kicked Oprah's ass is the bottom line.
Were you looking at your watch, like with
Oh, yeah.
miles to
How
go?
hard did you run that final stretch? Like when you're in that last like half mile, were you trying to sprint?
In the movie, there's like me waking up in the morning with the picture of Oprah stuck in my mirror. Like
You got a Rocky montage?
Yeah, cracking eggs and like shooting heroin or whatever I would do. And then, yeah,
It's steroids, not heroin. You're supposed to do steroids.
you know, a lot of letters are similar. So you just get mixed up. When you're on heroin, you can't read. So anyway, I definitely was like, I really, really want to be under 4:30. And it's, as your brother-in-law will tell you, it's really hard. But at the end, I was just, giving it whatever little bit left I had left. And I did it.
We had a guest. Were you here when we had the girl gang runners? down there?
Yeah, sure.
It was like a month ago. We never talk about anything to be good for your health and exercise and whatnot. Then all of a sudden, like we had like 10 people show up that were in this local running group that ran distance runs and marathons and stuff like that. And one of them used to be like 400 pounds, and she looked like she might have been like $160 now.
Oh my God.
And I was like, okay, maybe I shouldn't shit all over this stuff. There apparently is a method to this being healthy, but I don't like
to this.
I don't like tasting my blood, and I feel like when I run, that's what happens.
No, there was a dude, like I joined like to get in the New York Marathon, if you don't sign up way in advance, you have to join like a charity group that already has a spot reserved and you can kind of slip in. So there was a guy in my charity group. There's probably 20 of us. And he, not this marathon, but previous to that, he was just in Washington, D.C. for like a visit. And he looked in the paper and learned the marathons the next day. And he's like, okay, I'll do it. And he ran it in 3 hours. This guy's just walking around in marathon shape all the time. And just like, okay, I'll do that tomorrow. Like we'll go to the zoo. This guy runs a marathon.
There are people that are just freaks like that. I don't understand how that works, but
I shunned him. I made him feel bad.
That's good, as you should.
As I did.
So are you from Calgary exactly, or did you go to school? Okay. So are you a wrestling fan being a Canadian at all? I got to ask that.
Well, if you guys like, I don't know. Thank you for asking about wrestling. I don't know if you know about Stampede Wrestling and like Davey Boy Smith, the Dynamite Kid. That all, I believe, I'm going to say started in Calgary with the Hart family.
Yes.
Remember the Hart brothers? That's all. Here's a little story. One of the Hart brothers, I think it was Chris Hart, was like a lesser known. But when he wasn't wrestling, he was a substitute teacher. So in my gym class, he taught me wrestling. He was like the substitute teacher for my gym class and taught us wrestling at my crappy junior high.
No way.
That's definitely Canada stuff.
Yeah, that is Canada stuff. It was all just breaking chairs over each other's heads. That's all he taught us. But it was pretty good.
So did you continue to keep up with the product at all as you got older, or was it more just the local thing and that was it?
Kind of low. I mean, I, of course, followed. I felt like this. I went to a lot of live events in Calgary, but I felt like an affinity for the Hart family and the Dynamite Kid, Davey Boy Smith, Maka Singh, all these guys. So I kind of would follow their careers. But everybody that I knew, of course, when I was younger, they've all, aged out and their bodies are just bags of bones now. So, yeah, I haven't really kept up with it recently.
I remember there was the movie I think it was called Beyond the Mat, and they would go to Stu Hart's dungeon, that basement with like the drop ceiling that's like 7.5 foot, it's not even that big. And these people were just in there getting worked over by this old man, like grabbing their arms and ripping it out of socket. And like, that's how you make that arm bar look real. It's like, well, yeah, you just really do it, I guess. But yeah, the Hart family, they're like royalty in Canada. It's insane. Like they're so well revered.
Yeah, no, well deserved. I mean, to my eyes, he built this crazy industry. Of course, it went on with Vince McMahon and everything to be a bigger deal. But yeah, it was like the most popular show, especially for a kid when I was growing up. And I never missed a minute. And there's so many local characters. The sportscaster that always did it, and occasionally would get hit with a chair, and the villain, the heel, all that stuff. It was great. Right. Yeah.
So being from Canada, we didn't really talk about hockey, and honestly, like we don't know hardly any. I don't know. Maybe Mongo, you might have a big hockey brain. No, I don't know.
Canadian biggie, surprisingly.
He's been to North Dakota. Has he even been to Canada, Canadian Biggie?
He's been across a couple times.
Technically, where he was at is higher than a good part of.
Yeah, it's higher than Toronto, or no more northern. Why you say
Toronto's pretty far south. It is the most southern city, but he's not here to
my question was going to be just like what is your favorite sport? What do you like? What do you pay attention to the most?
I really love the NFL. I mean, hence the book, right? And it's such a great thing, as we all know, to bet on and to enjoy as a fan slash addict. But of course, I grew up, hockey was my love growing up, and I still played ice hockey kind of till COVID mercifully put my career to bed. But I'd say hockey, I'll say, is number one, but football is not far behind. And I love baseball. Basketball, I don't love that much. I could care less a little bit about basketball.
Do you like the Canadian Football League?
I mean, I love it because it's sort of so goofy and stupid. The story that one time there was 9 teams and 2 of them were called the Rough Riders. Did you know that? That's in the book. There's a lot about the CFL in the book, because we talk about the USFL and the XFL and all the rivals to the NFL, and mention the CFL as well.
We have this Facebook group where we talk NFL, where it was football, just kind of related in general. Now it's kind of just moved into only NFL, but every now and then you'll see somebody will be like posting like a highlight from the CFL, or talking about something about the Alouettes or something like that. Yep. And everybody's like, shut up, dork. Like they don't want to hear any of it.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about scrubbing our Wikipedia pages, that I scrubbed that part of my past as well. You guys drew it out of me. You're such skillful interviewers. You made me admit it.
Oh, well, flattery will get you everywhere on this show.
All right.
So, kind of wrapping up here, I just have some odd things I noticed. What's up with the glass donkey? What is that about?
My parents, a long time ago, we went from Canada. We went on a vacation. My mom was like, I found a spa in Mexico. And the spa was literally the most ratchet place you ever seen, like a desert. We slept like in huts. And the weights that you would lift in the weight room were just a metal bar put into 2 metal apple juice cans with cement poured around them. So that would make a dumbbell. So that was like the spa part of it. And then at night, there was nothing to do, of course, except go to this giant hut where they had a bingo game, and the prizes were in the middle. And I don't want to brag, but I mean, here we are, right? I won, and I got to choose any prize I wanted off the table, and I chose a glass donkey. So,
So is this like a menagerie? Is this like, how big is this thing?
No, this is like the size of your phone. Value of it then was like, 10 cents. But now it's in the Joel Cohen Museum, of course, and you can't even get
priceless. I mean,
you can't get to it. There's a thick crowd in front of it. You can just see a glimpse of it. But
I'm on the waiting list.
Good luck, man. Yeah. Good luck.
It's harder to get in to see those exhibits than it is I don't know. I can't think of another comparison.
2027. That's when I'm supposed to be able to go in.
You can edit it in afterwards when you think of something.
Exactly. That's what we do. Post editing. That's what's great about podcasts and not live. Yeah. You can just always do stupid crap and fix it later.
Yeah, totally.
So, question on everybody's mind, and we're going to talk about it on the rest of the show here. So, who put who on the map? Is the NFL putting Taylor Swift on the map, or is Taylor Swift putting the NFL on the map?
Now I'm just worried how this ends. Like,
it's going to end in an album. We know that.
Yeah, no, totally. But I mean, now I'm like, I hope they get married and the story continues. But it's pretty good.
I like that optimism. I like it. You're a true romantic. I see that.
I really am. Maybe this is like one of those arranged marriage where her manager met with the NFL in some horribly dry, boring meeting, and they planned all these things and photo ops, like one of Tom Cruise's marriages or something. It's all pre-ordained.
Did you happen to see the footage of her in the press box?
In the suite, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw some of it. Yeah, I saw it, like her screaming and stuff.
That was real joy. I don't care what anybody says.
I don't feel like his mother was happy she was there.
Well, she's vetting. Really? Yeah, she's vetting her. If
you watch that footage.
Well, I think I read she's already said she's going to the game this weekend too, right?
Yeah. And there's already people talking about, like, if the Chiefs, which many expect them to make it right back to the Super Bowl, if they do, she's going to be like one day she's doing a concert in like Korea and the next day is in Australia. She may not be able to make, but it's Tay-Tay. She can just take a private jet and go wherever she needs
Make
to
it
go.
happen.
At least it's on Vegas, kind of West Coast. That makes it a little easier. But
It's scripted, so I think Kelce proposes at the Super Bowl.
Oh, in the running down the field, open field, 10, 5, stops, gets down on one knee at the 1 yard line and proposes.
Yes.
Rips a ring out of the football. He rips it open.
She's standing in the end zone. So as he breaks the plane, he scores a touchdown and scores a bride at the same time.
Exactly. It's going to be like Boise State, Oklahoma all over again. She's going to be wearing the cheerleader outfit in the Shake It Off video. Yes.
You guys just made me an NFL fan.
This is why we bring writers on the show. This is fun shit right here.
Exactly.
We can't get this content anywhere else.
I couldn't have pitched on this a day and a half ago, but now.
We got a little cut in the video.
We do.
Yeah.
We'll wait for it to come back. Maybe.
Got frozen.
Damn it.
We're back. We're back.
Joel's internet, just garbage.
It's definitely not ours in West Virginia.
I got five triangles or whatever the hell you want.
Triangles? My God, we don't even have triangles here. We just have a hamster that we have to feed, and it runs in this wheel. And as long as the wheel keeps moving,
just put a little crystal meth on him or something just to get him to finish this thing.
There's plenty of that here in West Virginia.
That's all I know. All right, you got anything else for Mongo? I'm ready to go do the rest of the show. But man, it's been a blast talking to you, Joel.
No, it's fun for me too. Thank you guys. This was great.
So do you and your brother have a sibling rivalry?
You know what? My parents were very smart, and he's the oldest, I'm the youngest. They gave us a middle brother that we can both hate. So if you're a father, build the scapegoat right into the pattern, and then you just sit back and let things play out as they do.
You feel that as a middle sibling yourself?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
No, off air, I got some news for you, but we'll talk about it later.
That might have hit close to home for me.
I'm sorry.
All right. Well, hey, again, the book is The Occasionally Accurate Annals of Football. Definitely look forward to picking up a copy of that. Anytime you can add an element of humor in sports, man, that makes it so much more enjoyable. People take things too serious, but
I agree.
And then when does new season of The Simpsons come out?
Well, we're either lucky or not lucky, but we had some episodes in the bank. So people will feel new episodes, I think, even coming out like in another couple weeks. But where this same gap because of the strike may happen will be around maybe February or March. But we had like 7 episodes already stored up. So we'll have new stuff rolling out very soon. There might be a little hiccup down the road, or there might not. I don't know. We'll see what happens, how fast we can make our animators draw.
I don't know. How long does it take to make an episode in writing usually?
Well, writing is I'll say the easy part. I get 2 weeks to write the script. It takes us about another, let's say, month to clean it up. But then it takes 9 months of animation. So like we're working on stuff now that won't even be on TV this season. It'll be on next fall.
Yeah, they do have it easy. All right.
That's how we predict the future, as we predicted in the past. Yeah.
Well, Joe, we got to run and go pay some bills, so we're going to play some ads.
Right.
But, man, we appreciate you coming on the show. Thanks again. Make sure you guys pick up the book, and I'll be looking forward to that hockey episode.
All right, man. It was already on, so you can now look backwards to the hockey episode.
I got to go find it.
All right. Thanks guys.
Joel.
Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Joel.
Take care.
Bye, buddy.
Big Timber Brewery and Tap Room is located in the heart of Appalachia, Elkins, West Virginia. Their name pays homage to the surrounding forests and the industry that built the community. Big Timber makes beer we love and enjoy doing it, creating a product that we, our town, and our state can take pride in. What started as a dream became a reality in 2014 when their first keg went out the door. Their commitment to beer and community continues to grow stronger every day. Pick up a pack of Big Timber at your local store today.
Always a great time when we get our guests to come on the show. And Mongo had a lot of fun talking to Joel, man. That was good shit.
It was excellent.
And we got to get him back. And, I think it's odd that we've talked to multiple like runners or marathon people in the span of a month because none of us have any desire to be that, do we?
I am not physically fit whatsoever.
Now, what would it take? What would it take for you guys to want to run a marathon?
Somebody'd have to be chasing me for 23 miles.
That is correct. Don't forget the band.
Let's clarify. Want to run a marathon or actually run a marathon? Because want to run a marathon? Hell yeah, I want to run the Boston Marathon. Get that shirt. Say I ran in the Boston Marathon. Is it actually going to happen? No.
You can do let me see if I get the name right. Rosie Ruiz, you can do that thing.
Yeah.
Where you just you can just pour some water on you and look like you've been sweating all day.
We're not on camera, and it's a good thing.
Because we're fat.
There's a guy I work with. His name's Greg. He's 65 years old. He rides bike. He bikes 40, 50 miles a week. He's an avid runner. He's 65. Right? The last year before COVID, so 2019, he ran the Boston Marathon.
That's pretty good. I can't believe we know this many people that have ran marathons.
And we never... I've driven a marathon. You drive 1,500 miles and you only stop 4 times for gas. That's the equivalent.
I was
in the diaper, son.
I trained all year for that.
I thought it was just going to be I drove 23 miles.
Just that. That's
it.
No, he was trying to make the analogy somehow.
Yeah.
All right, let me ask you this. Would you rather train and run a marathon or go to a Taylor Swift concert?
Well, I've already been to a Taylor Swift concert. It was outdoors, and she killed it. So
that was years ago. That was like country Tay-Tay, right?
That don't matter, though.
That was country Tay-Tay.
That's different.
No, but he still experienced it.
I guess. He can say he did it and we didn't.
Exactly.
But would you go to one of them stadium shows?
Yeah, my daughter's been to one.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
Ahead of the other.
Of the marathon.
Whoa. You're telling me I
Pump
can
the brakes,
run...
Chief.
If I have the choice to actually be able to physically run a marathon, I'll do that first.
I feel like now he's just trying to wish physical health into existence.
Yes, exactly.
That's not what this was.
Okay.
One of the prerequisites.
Then I'm going to Tay-Tay.
I was trying to make...
was train for a marathon. That was a prerequisite.
Right. I've clearly said that. I was trying to make a segue into what everybody's talking about all over the world. The argument is, did Taylor Swift put the NFL on the map, or did the NFL make Taylor Swift more relevant? I don't know. The backstory, everybody knows by now. Her and Kelce are trying things out. She shows up for a game. She's sitting in the suite next to the Kelce family.
Hey, listen.
It's taking the internet by storm.
All I can say is his jersey sales are up 400%.
400.
Since she's been seen on the show or the game with him up here with Mama Kelce.
So what you're saying is Taylor Swift in the NFL is what is best for business?
Exactly. She rolling in the money.
Do you guys have a take on this at all? Do you even care? Because it's all everybody
No, but
wants
it's
to talk
true,
about. Yeah.
Kelsey's winning. He don't even care how long
It
this
is.
lasts.
Even with the Vince McMahon mustache he's rocking right
Exactly.
I mean, does he get royalties off of the
Like
jersey?
literally,
Oh, you definitely
literally,
get
you've
a
not
piece
seen
of
the
that.
meme?
Yeah.
The thing is, she's going to have a song about, I used to have a tight end. I mean, think about it.
Hey,
Where do we go from here?
he just made a ton of money because she showed up at a game.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm telling you this. I've heard,
Look that up.
first of all, there's no tight end involved because I know sure as hell she's not doing that. Probably only missionary. And I've also heard rumors Chili does hand jobs.
Hand jobs.
Who do you hear these rumors from,
No,
Mr.
it's
Brown?
all over the place.
You see the picture of her knees after that game? They were showing them walking out.
I'm
He's
telling
been
you.
putting her to work.
No, I'm
Y'all
telling
getting
you.
dark.
No, I'm telling you. Hand jobs USA.
Biggie
Here's
likes
what I don't
BP.
understand. Okay, I've seen Taylor Swift in concert.
Biggie set up for this.
She's great. She's got all these songs. She brought Swifties to football. She made Travis Kelce relevant. People now know who he is outside of the football world. How in the hell is she so famous and she's this? She's a 6.
Yeah, but when you look at the bank account, she's a 10.
Yeah.
Well, then she's 1,000.
Right? Everybody's talking about Kelsey's ex-girlfriend and what she looked like.
His ex was amazing.
Woo!
His ex was like a smoke show.
Kelsey is the only man to ever be on a show similar to The Bachelor
What-
and be the guy who's supposed to leave with a woman and not leave with a woman.
That's a very that's a sore spot for him if you bring
Yes.
it up. What was it? Catching Kelce? Is that what
Catching
it's called?
Kelce.
He went from dressing like MC Hammer to the state troopers pulling you over for going a hair over 55.
Farva.
That's what happened here.
So yeah,
I'm also already tired of the Kelce brothers. They're annoying.
do you ever listen to their podcast?
Shut up.
It's
They're
not
Fox.
bad. It's
They're-
not bad.
they're
What,
just-
what do you like about the Kelces other than they get shoved in your face all the time?
Well,
I like the Kelces.
They're
Yeah.
so white. I don't like them.
You're white.
I know they're too white,
You calling somebody too white?
brother. I just feel like Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift would be the perfect couple to get married. They're both the epitome of what people are like. I don't know. Whenever you talk about someone who likes ranch on their stuff, they're a white person, all that sort of stuff.
White girls do love ranch.
So
Travis Kelce.
If that's what you achieved in life, you've made it. Congratulations, Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift.
They share a pumpkin spice latte while he wears an ascot.
Exactly.
Well, it's like Tom Brady became the greatest player in the history of the
Googling
league
ascot now.
and a globally known person. But when he became really famous was long before that when he married Giselle because she was already a global icon. That's the same thing with Travis Kelce right now. They're only dating, but people in other countries now know of Travis Kelce simply because he's dating Taylor Swift.
That has been the funny argument I've seen, like Swifties are like, oh, Travis Kelce is like a known commodity now. And like dudes are getting mad because like, what are you talking about? Everyone knows who this is because these two worlds do not commonly mix. You do not get the Swifties and the NFL fan, even if it's like a husband and wife. You know, they're probably not intermingling those parts of that's how they get their me time.
They're watching TV in different rooms.
They might be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just funny to see those arguments take place. But that being said, I feel like we've been just overwhelmed with the banter on this. I'm ready to move on from it if you guys are.
I say we don't speak of it again until Brittany Mahomes has had too much and we get this era's version of Tanya Harding and Nancy Kerrigan.
Do you think she's happy about this? Like, is this potentially, is she looking at it like I might get more eyes on me?
I think she went home and beat her husband.
Quit throwing him the ball!
All I saw on social media was you waving at the skybox.
Apparently at the after party Sunday, Kelce had a party. They all went to it. By the end of the night, Tay-Tay and Brittany were having a shot together.
Maybe. I don't know. Did you see the picture of what she was eating, though? It was like the one chicken nugget with the ketchup and ranch. Would you say that's a thing?
It's Ranch Up. I invented that 11 years ago.
You should have patented that, big boy.
Small town in North Dakota.
Ranch Up. I think you can buy like that at the store. Like Heinz makes that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's a great combo.
She was not eating very much. But all right, so let's talk about other NFL happenings. We got our Stone Cold Lead Pipe Locks coming up on the other show. But there was a lot that kind of happened over the previous weekend. And we also got college we can go. So let's just start our power rankings. We got the Dolphins in the top 3 now.
Absolutely.
I think Turbo, who's not here with us, had him at like number 3 or 4. But I think all of us had him at 1 or 2.
This weekend, we find out exactly where the Dolphins are because the Bills have been the bowling on the block in the AFC East the last 3 seasons. They're going into Buffalo. They won 70-20 last week. The Bills beat the Commanders like 36-6 or something like that.
Yep.
Game of the week, baby.
Yeah. How good is Miami?
How good? I mean, what do you think they are?
Was this an outlier or is this who they are?
I mean, they've looked really good on offense every week so far.
Yeah.
What I'm curious to see is how good their defense can play against a good offense like Buffalo's because they have not faced a good offense yet. And I take that back.
The Chargers.
They played the Chargers offense. They trailed the entire game. They gave up 34 points. Chargers didn't have a defense. What I'm saying is the Bills will be the first team they play that has a good offense and a solid defense.
Where's the game at?
Buffalo.
Okay, that's good. They were bitching about it last year because remember they made them stay in the sun?
Yeah.
They're like, this is horse shit.
Ken Dorsey was throwing stuff.
Ken Dorsey was mad.
I feel like the Dolphins should be a touchdown favorite in this game, and Vegas has Buffalo at -3 at home. You get 3 for being at home, so basically they feel like it's a push, but I think that the Dolphins should be a touchdown favorite. That offense is hard to beat.
Why aren't we? And they did this with Jalen Waddle didn't even play.
Nope.
Absolutely.
No.
Like, are we even talking about that? Everybody's like, oh, look at the Dolphins. Like, they weren't even at full strength. And, man, we talk about Devontae Adams and Justin Jefferson. And, like, I feel like Tyreek gets mentioned, but, like, is it not time that he starts getting elevated into that conversation as best wide receiver?
I think Tyreek's absolutely that guy. And also, when I think that Tyreek doesn't have Waddle, I compare that to like if Chris Carter didn't have Randy Moss. This is that type of tandem.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah, somebody else is just going to step up.
That's what I'm
and
saying.
they still got that high level
We're talking
talent.
about that type of level here.
Maybe even more.
I'm just saying.
I don't know. I mean, it's insane. And we always say, like, if Tua is healthy, they're a good team. But, like, what did you see that damn no look he did? Little shovel pass? Like, They were just fucking with the Broncos.
They're just toying with them.
Like,
They chose to turn the ball over on downs rather than just kick a field goal.
How many years did Sean Payton just spend out in retirement? And he's like, "This is the decision I'm going to make."
It was 2 years,
and
right?
I'm going to go to Denver. Like,
let's
the hell's going through his head?
Let's change the conversation off of Miami because the conversation there is, are they the elite team in the NFL? How bad is Denver?
I know, but what is he thinking? This is what I want to come back to.
Is he going to pull a Urban Meyer and not make it through the whole season?
I mean, I don't think he makes it through next year. I think he makes it this year, and then next year I think he's on the hot seat already.
No, they'll rebuild. He gets 4 years there unless he quits.
4 years.
Dude, he's a Super Bowl winning head coach.
You're probably right.
They gave him a ton of money. Part of that Denver game was the fact Sean Payton, when he was a Fox analyst, said that Tua would be on the bench at least midway through the season for Teddy Bridgewater. He couldn't play in the NFL. So there was no way Miami was taking their foot off the throttle on Sunday.
They had a point to make, is what you're saying.
Denver just isn't good defensively. But if you look at the numbers offensively, what was Peyton brought in to do? Make Russ a decent quarterback again? He's in the top 5 on his deep ball completion percentage. His numbers are actually pretty good. So the part of it that he can correct, it's a building process. I mean, they're going to be bad this year, but not throw them out the door bad.
They've traded away or lost a lot of defensive parts. They're not the same defensive team.
Not even close.
And everything you just painted, Biggie, I get it, but I hate to break it to you, but the Denver Broncos and the Chicago Bears are this weekend's Toilet Bowl game of the week.
The relegation game.
Hey, let's not talk about that.
The loser.
Who's going to get Caleb Williams?
Sorry to bring you in there, Mongo. Biggie brought you down that road of agony, and now you're here with us.
Get my Chicago Bears name out your mouth.
You guys weren't on the interview, but when we had Joel on, he's a Jets fan, or was talking about the Jets, and we were trying to see if he had any uplifting words for Mongo's Bears, and he really didn't.
No, there's nothing. There's nothing positive going on there. It's
like, sorry, kid, you're dying from cancer. I'm not going to sit here and tell you a lie that you're not.
Yeah,
it was bad. So are the Bears? Is that what you want to see? Caleb Williams be the Bears quarterback? Is that going to fix it?
No. They need a complete turnover in ownership, coaching, and.
Are you the one calling the FBI? Is that you?
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
What happened with that, with the defensive coordinator? What did they say happened?
They said he was raided by the FBI. One thing that's interesting in this, the Bears stadium was broken into.
They got robbed. They stole like lawnmowers and shit.
Yeah, like I don't remember the total value, but like over $100,000 worth of stuff.
They didn't take anything out of the pro shop.
No, they didn't want any. They didn't want anything. They didn't want memorabilia. They wanted things of value.
And Justin Fields jerseys are going to be an African.
They found a bunch of Justin Fields jerseys by the toilet in the restroom.
I got to say, I hate those orange jerseys when they wear them. I hate them. I don't know why. I do not like the Bears wearing them.
I like the classic black jersey.
I kind of like the orange ones, but I'm a weirdo.
I mean, I like them on other teams, but I just don't like them when Chicago does. I keep it blue.
Chicago needs to stay traditional.
Yeah, like the Packers were wearing like all yellow. You'd be like, ugh.
The owner of the Red Sox wearing all yellow.
Whoa.
For
the Red Sox wear yellow
bombing uniforms.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah, they do that.
I don't know the math on this, but I'm sure it's pretty close. She's older. The owner of the Bears is older than most teams in the NFL.
I believe you're correct there.
If you combine the ages of the Texans, Panthers, and the Jaguars, they're not as old as the owner of the Bears. So all three franchises combined.
Alice McClaskey, she's like 100, right? 98 or something?
100. I think she might be like
103. Isn't she the nun that shows up for them Loyola games? Isn't that same lady? Maybe. It's Chicago.
Yeah, I think that could be.
So, a place that the Bears will never be is Monday Night Football.
Or Sunday night.
And I bring Monday Night Football up because we didn't have a show last week, and I was just curious. Anybody watched the Monday Night intro? So as a kid, you grew up and or it was Hank Williams Jr., all my rowdy friends coming over. Chris Stapleton and Snoop Dogg are the Monday Night now. Have you guys heard it, and what do you think?
Is that All year thing?
Yep.
I didn't
That's
know
the
that.
new
I thought it
Monday
was.
night.
I thought they were just doing it for that game.
Come on, Chad.
I'm not paying it. Well, I didn't get on right away, so I had to see it later. But yeah, I'm down with that.
Chris
Why not?
Stapleton sings a remake of Phil Collins in the air
In the air tonight, yeah.
Oh,
Like,
Snoop
sexy.
gets on
Yeah.
and raps.
What's not to like? It's a good mix. You're covering all bases. You're
Snoop
getting
Dogg can cover anything.
right.
And I
Like
love him for that.
you're getting a lot of blended audiences to come into that realm, and
And I
like
think
that.
Stapleton's played one of the best national anthems I've ever heard. But then you bring in Snoop Dogg, literally, he can work with anybody. And, it's already fixed when you bring him in.
He's transcendent.
You
Like
see what I'm saying?
I've got
you know you're covered.
I've got an uncle in his 80s.
Yeah.
80s.
and he knows all about Snoop Dogg.
You ask him who his favorite rapper is, it's Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
And he can sing some of the songs.
That's what I'm saying. He's established.
That's
he knows what he's done.
So
I think Snoop's the greatest rapper of all time, and I'm going to go and just
For
put it out there.
longevity, how do you argue against it?
I'm just putting it right now.
He's like the Hank Aaron of rap.
Yes.
he's went as far to do stuff with,
Martha Stewart.
yeah.
Oh yeah, that's his girl.
Yeah.
They're big buds, but
They're boning.
all right, probably
Yeah.
Calvin. Way to go.
So Snoop Dogg became relevant in the 90s, right?
Yep.
Who else was big in the 90s? Deion Sanders, Jerry Rice. The reason I bring this up is this weekend USC and Colorado play. I know we're go ahead.
I want to get to that, but I don't want to get off the NFL train yet.
All right, we'll circle
Because we definitely got to talk about Coach Prime. That's a big deal. So I'll do some rapid fire here for you real quick. The halftime show has been revealed for the Super Bowl. Did you see who it is?
Usher.
Sure.
How do you feel about that?
Very disappointed.
I have nothing against Usher, but shouldn't it be like Usher and Friends?
Yeah.
And maybe it is, but like I feel like he's not enough to
No.
highlight
That's
on his
the
own.
headline
It
name.
makes me want to leave the one I'm with and start a new relationship. A new relationship.
It's 7 o'clock on the dot. I'm in my drop top. Come on, you all know it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But that was like 20 years ago.
Or more.
Yeah, 25 probably.
Might as well have R. Kelly do the halftime.
No. You can't do that.
Oh.
Unless we do it like from prison.
It's
It could
been-
be like Johnny Cash. Folsom Prison, just R. Kelly for the halftime show.
It's been so long Joel H. Cohen wasn't a writer on The Simpsons yet.
Ooh, it probably is that old.
Yeah.
Damn.
What's the pissing version of the Cleveland Steamer?
A Frosty Johnson.
Is that what it is?
That's when you urinate into a condom and freeze it,
Oh,
and
well,
then you use it.
What if, I'm just saying, for the R. Kelly situation,
Oh,
like I didn't know what it was called.
I just know that one.
I think we need to freeze it.
R. Kelly is going to join him from.
Got a little frostbite.
Demolition Man.
Exactly.
Yes.
All right. I know Biggie's down to talk college football. Real quick, quarterback questions. Josh Dobbs, do you keep riding him if you're Arizona?
Well, what else are you going to do?
I mean, he's.
Kyler's coming back in like a week or two, right?
I
No,
thought it was-
Tyler can't play till week 9 at the earliest.
I thought
Oh, that was.
4.
I thought it was
He's
4
out half
too.
the year.
Really?
Maybe it was just he was on the IR list, and that's
Oh,
why I
I
was
thought it
thinking
was
4
4
weeks.
4 is the earliest he can come back. With his injury, it'll be week 8 or 9 before he comes
Okay.
back.
So then there you
So
go.
is there a controversy brewing? Is Kyler going to be trade bait after this year?
No, they paid him too much money. They're sticking with him. Nobody
I
else
bet
is
if somebody
sticking
would
out.
take him, they'd let him take him.
I bet there might be some suitors out there.
You think
One
so?
could be the Bears.
I would take Kyler Murray
I
over
would
Justin
take Murray
Fields.
over Fields all day long.
Yeah.
Not Biggie. He's riding him all year on fantasy.
Here's the question, though.
The
Because
Patriots would love to have Kyler Murray over Mac Jones.
you all know
Kyler Murray.
Let Mongo talk.
you all know that I've never been sold on Fields. But do you think, if he played for another team,
No.
No,
still no?
it's not the Bears. It's
I
not- it's not-
like Fields.
No.
Like I think he's tough. Like I want him to succeed. I just don't think he's got it. Like
It's 100% the Bears.
you think
No,
so?
That's not.
Dude, he is a fucking talented kid. The Bears coaching is some of the worst in the fucking league.
But they got rid of Nagy and all them. Like it's still bad.
They brought in Matt Eberflus, who doesn't know shit about fuck, to be a coach in a league that's all about offense. Look at the All-22 when they'll show highlights. He is so poorly coached that he won't even hit open receivers. He'll run into a sack instead. He's regressed. He has regressed from Ohio State to the NFL. It's pathetic.
There are some clips out there where he's like not even staring downfield. He's just looking to run because that rush is already like in his head. It's coming, and there's people wide open, and he just don't even see it. It's not that he can't make throws. It's just the game's too fast for him. And you're probably right. The Bears staff's not helping him.
Is it young players, young quarterbacks? Is there anybody that surprised you so far? I'll go first. C.J. Stroud.
C.J. Stroud, yeah. Like I didn't think he would do anything.
No, Ohio State quarterbacks usually
they don't. I mean, that's that was the one for me. I don't really have anybody else. It's still too early. That's the thing. We're only a few weeks in. It's hard to say a lot. But the other quarterback question I wanted to ask was, you got Jalen Hurts, the Eagles, and we still got them ranked pretty high. We're feeling good about them. But, Hurts, have you seen his numbers?
Yeah, but they got a new offensive coordinator. So what have they done? Because the pass game isn't quite meshing. They're running the hell of the ball. DeAndre Swift's got 300 yards rushing the last 2 games.
They're winning, and I guess my question is, do you believe that Jalen's going to kind of return to form and get better, or do you think they're just going to lean so heavy on the run all year that it's going to be maybe a step back for him this year?
Step back statistically, possibly, but not as a player. Jalen Hurts is a hell of a ball player.
I mean, I think so too, but like it's, y'all were giving Mac Jones some shit a second ago. He's got better stats than Hurts does so far this year.
Yeah, but he's not as good of a player.
You're right. Stats lie. Numbers can lie. We can pull up data, make any argument seem right.
I think that starting the season out, because I watched the Patriots game opening week, and their passing game was in a little disarray, but they're like, we got a great offensive line, Jalen, good running backs. We'll just run the ball. That's what they've done for 3 games. I think they'll get it figured out. They've got Devontae Smith, AJ.
Oh, they got
Goddard.
weapons.
At the end of the day, it's San Fran and Philadelphia.
That's your
NFC preview right now, period.
All right, moving on rapid fire again. All right, so what about your boy Mac Jones and Sauce Gardner? Who was hitting who in the nuts? What happened there?
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
I need you to tell me what happened.
Sauce Gardner hits him, stands over top of him. When Mac gets up, he goes through him, and all of a sudden he hit him in the balls. Come on now, Sauce.
All I saw was Sauce push him to the ground.
There was an article about it. You seen the article?
Yeah. It's funny because Mike Reese had a thing on it too, and it's like Sauce Gardner pushes him down. When Mac gets up, he goes through him to get up, and now all of a sudden he's hitting him in the balls. That's one of those, I started it, it's your fault.
Okay. So, last question, NFL.
Both guys were in the wrong.
Last question, NFL, then we'll jump into the college and get into all that. The ever persistent Colin Kaepernick has made an appearance in the headlines again. Apparently, he's been soliciting the New York Jets for a job, not to even be on the main roster, but to be on the practice squad. Thoughts?
And he also gave references.
He did. I was looking for phone numbers. I was going to call him.
Both Harbaugh brothers. Yeah, they're included.
Did they want to be redacted, or are they happy with that?
No, apparently they were good with it.
Okay.
Here's what I think of Colin Kaepernick. He had a nice little run, was a loaded roster around him. When the roster thinned out, he didn't play as well. When his spot with the Niners, he chose to leave. He sued the NFL. He took the bag of money so he could never talk again. He did a Netflix doc comparing playing in the NFL to slavery. Now he's begging for a spot back on that roster. Dude, it's been, 7 years since he's played?
8 years.
Like, Deshaun Watson was a top 5 QB in the league a couple years ago for Houston. Led the league in passing.
Look what happened to him. He
Just
finally
look at
had a
him
good
last
week. Finally had a good week.
But look at him last week. He turned around and threw the ball backwards from his butt. Like, not playing that long at that position just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Like, how do you get that timing?
And what gives him more... What gives a guy who's 33, 35 years old, why would you put him on your practice squad over a guy who's 23 who just graduated college?
Biggie, if you don't understand, ask Jamel Hill. She'll tell you.
Where does she
you're
work?
right.
Where does she work now?
I don't know. She keeps getting fired and throwing the race cards, so
She
she's
keeps
relevant.
posting about that. Talking about she was pissed because the Jets signed Trevor Siemian, who's 31, over Kaepernick. And she was like, but it's about race, right?
Do you know why the Jets signed Trevor Siemian?
No.
You know who he's familiar with?
Is the offensive coordinator?
That's ran by Nathaniel Hackett.
All
That's
right.
why they picked him up.
He did play in Denver. Like, I get that. So, but given the results, I can't say it's an overwhelmingly positive move.
That is true. It's like, oh, we all want to mimic the Broncos right now.
I mean, yeah, that's the paragon of virtue, if you will. And I'll use this to segue into college. It's kind of like, did you see the Jackson State had a girl kicker? Did you see that? She kicked this week and did one kickoff, and it went out of bounds after 15 yards.
Nice.
That's so. Yeah, I mean, we can sign
went well.
people because it's a good story, but it doesn't translate to a good result.
That really happened this week.
Yeah. From the female soccer team, they signed her, and I was watching the clip. I was like, "This ought to be good," and it was like, that was bad.
I'm all about it, though. Like,
There was a quarterback too.
if you're going to put them on the field, man, you got to make sure they're going to do their thing.
Right, like it's not quit doing stuff for publicity. Just do it because you're trying to win.
Yeah,
I guess.
if it's all for win, that's great. I'm all
Like if
about
she
it.
kicked that ball out of the end zone, I'd be like, hell yeah, give her a full ride and a scholarship.
Right
Let's
now,
go.
right now.
So I'm not trying to get all racial here, but you want to know why
If you
the
started
door
with
got
that,
knocked so far open when Jackie came to play baseball? Because he was that damn good. If you're going to bring a girl in to football, have one that can kick a 40-yard field goal. Then all of a sudden, some of these other girls may get that same opportunity. But when it's a joke because the ball doesn't go 15 yards, all it's ever going to be is a laughing stock.
Mr. Brown's sad. Acuna just got gunned down, still in second.
I'm getting greedy, son.
I'm just saying, you find someone who's good enough to actually be
No,
out there.
I'm with you. Like nobody's saying like we don't want to see a girl go out there and kick, and like if Kaepernick, could go and play, like I'm good. But like the thing is now you can't say it anymore. It's too much time has passed. You can't knock off that rust. Like we're not getting. What was the high school teacher that became a pitcher?
Dennis Quaid.
Yeah, it wasn't Dennis Quaid, but he played him.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're not getting that story in the NFL. That doesn't happen. As much as we want to joke about like Randy Moss, could still probably go and catch a fade in the corner. Yeah, it's probably not true. Let's be honest. Dudes get old.
Yeah, like you could put him around the goal line and he might catch something for you, but he's not playing a full game.
Nah, he's giving you like one drive, and that's it. And that's if he doesn't get hit.
I just think it sucks because so many times you're not allowed to say directly what you think. And I just think that there's some girls out there who could probably boot a ball from 40 yards and actually be a real good kicker, but they're not interested in the gimmick part of it.
So let's go to college. You want to talk about your boy Dion, Coach Prime. He got dump trucked by Oregon, which we all thought was probably going to happen. But to the point it happened was pretty embarrassing. And they all had a lot of words to say afterwards. But is this the beginning of the media storm to calm down about Dion, or is it still going to be in full effect?
Well, no, ESPN has already quit talking about him 8 times a day this week. He's still going to be a big name in a headline. He has been his whole life.
He's already done more for Colorado this year than they have the last 3 years.
It's just they played a team that was better than them, and they got dump trucked.
Yeah.
But I would rather them not get dump trucked. I'd rather it be 42-6. I'd rather it be 42-30. Competitive all the way to the end.
They're not there yet.
No.
But Shadur had a rough game, man. He was
Pissing blood.
Yeah. You found out their lines on both sides of the ball are not that good.
Well, and then Travis Henry, who Dion didn't let play because he was injured and wants to protect his future. They were making fun of him because he was live streaming on Twitch during the game, playing video games or something like that.
I don't know. That's what kids do nowadays, I guess.
What's he going to do? You send him at home.
I mean, we gave Lamar crap for not going to the playoff game for the Ravens last year.
What's interesting to me is to see how Colorado does this weekend. They're going to play USC, who's the best team in the Pac-12, one of the better teams in the country. And USC should beat them by 4 scores.
Now, we might need to flip over to the Thursday night game. It's already 13-3. You're going to find it on Amazon Prime there. But
here's the thing I wanted to throw out earlier about Colorado and USC this weekend. And it just shows you how big Dion is. So, Shiloh Sanders, Dion's son, currently leads the Pac-12 in solo tackles, hasn't allowed a single touchdown. Did you know that Jerry Rice's son is a starting wide receiver for USC?
No,
You didn't know that until this weekend.
I didn't know
until
you just said it.
Yeah.
I didn't know that at all.
His son, Brendan Rice, starting wide receiver at USC. He leads the team in touchdowns with 5 and is second on the team in receiving yards with 257. They'll go head-to-head this weekend. To show how big Deion's name is and his son, none of us knew, me included, Jerry Rice's kid was a starting wide receiver for USC.
There you go.
That's the Deion effect.
Got any
Give
idea
him
what-
his money. Give him his props. He's doing well for college football.
What are you going to say, Mongo?
Got any idea what year he's in? Freshman, sophomore?
I do not.
It don't matter anymore. Everybody leaves early anyhow, or they transfer. How do you even keep track? You got like 7th-year seniors nowadays. Stuff's ridiculous. While you're looking that up, did you see the Ryan Day outburst about Lou Holtz?
I did not.
You don't know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
Do you see it, Mongo?
I know about it, but didn't see it.
So Lou Holtz, how old do you think he is?
Lou Holtz has got to be about 70, mid-70s, I think.
I'm going to go 80.
Yeah, he's like 87, I think. He's like old as hell. I don't know. Hey, Siri, how old is Lou Holtz? 86.
86 years old.
He's old.
Pretty close.
So he's a lot like Lee Corso. They just prop him up on stage and they have him say stupid stuff. Look at the size of that spider on Mongo.
It was just on me. I flicked it over to you and I wanted to see if you pick up on it.
You never know when the creatures come out.
Lee Corso hit so deep on Ryan Day that as soon as
Not Corso, it was Holtz.
You
said Corso.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lou Holtz. Sorry, he hit so deep on him that during that show at the end of the game, Ryan Day
Called him out.
immediately.
Like, what are you doing, man? It's a freaking talking head on a college football. And who did Lou Holtz used to coach?
Notre Dame.
And he was trying to talk
Right.
about Notre Dame and
Well,
said
and then-
it's because he said they weren't tough.
Right. And then Ryan Day was like, it's Ohio versus the world.
If that's what you need to tell yourself, man, you might need to find some better motivation because.
Find some better drivers.
And then Lou Holtz, like on Monday this week, was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, I still believe in what I said." But how are you living rent free in old boy's head?
Yeah.
That's just you got to be better than that. Like with Coach Prime, and who's the coach at Oregon?
Dan Fleming.
Yes.
Dan Zimming. Something
Fleming.
Like
So them, having their little back and forth, like I get it. It makes sense. They're talking about each other. But like, could you imagine somebody going after Corso for putting the wrong mascot head on? That's what this would be like.
No, they should.
Could you imagine Nick Saban like, I can't believe he put that Auburn Tiger head on. What disrespect to the Alabama Crimson. No, you don't, because nobody cares what the 86-year-old Lou Holtz says in a pregame. Except Ryan Day, apparently. I'm just sorry.
I know.
That's weak sauce.
I know.
Weak sauce.
I know.
You got anything else in college football? Did you ever find out what year Rice's son is?
He's 21, so he's probably a junior.
No red shirt? I don't know. Anyway, you're going to a college game soon, aren't you?
Saturday.
Is it this Saturday?
Yeah.
Marshall, the Thundering Herd, speaking of
Versus-
Randy Moss.
No, versus Old Dominion. I'm going to be in the 5th row at the 50-yard line.
Those are probably $1,000 tickets.
Yeah.
Well, probably not.
Yeah. That'll
What?
be 500.
It's still a good time, man. Go out and enjoy. How many people do you think will be there?
I'd say there'll be about 30,000 people there.
So are you officially a Marshall fan now?
We'll talk about it.
Well, that's what I'm asking. Can we talk about it? What's going on?
Now, here's what I'm doing. So, my point is, I've always been a WVU fan, and I've always wanted to cheer for both teams because
You want them both to do well.
it's good for the state if both teams do well. But then some Marshall fans get a little too crazy and then talk shit, and it makes you turn away.
They're like a
Right.
chihuahua, right?
Yeah,
Like they don't
exactly.
realize how big they are.
So, to me, these are free tickets. I wanted to go check it out against Old Dominion. I'm going to wear Marshall green. You can hate on me if you
Did you have
want.
to buy stuff or did you already have it?
No, I had to buy stuff.
Okay.
So I'm buying the T-shirt, and I'm gonna go down there. I'm gonna wear a Braves green hat to go up to Marshall.
You got the St. Patty's Day
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, I'm good.
You're sneaking in the Braves gear.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. But see, at least I'm trying to commit.
Right.
But my point is, I'm looking for a good time because Marshall is ranked at the top of their conference right now.
I don't think they're very good, though, are they?
I think Virginia Tech's is really bad.
And you talk about a fall from grace. Like, as bad as it feels to be a WVU fan at times, like Virginia Tech is just a laughing stock.
I will say this, and I stole Biggie's line, but I got to give the poke a plug where it's due. So you had the Marshall head coach. He was interviewing after the game against Virginia Tech, and he was like, the Payne boys, he says, I'll take any of them boys from poker because these boys show up to play football. And he's like, you keep bringing them my way, I'll take them.
That makes you feel a little proud.
Yeah.
A little
he said that in his
rub.
presser.
Oh, yeah.
You don't know that, Biggie?
Yeah, Payne. Ethan Payne got RSN Sports Network Player of the Week.
But the coach talked about them both in his presser.
Nice. Hey, a little small town with 900 people. We'll take all the pub we can get.
So he's like, just keep bringing them my way, boys. These are football players.
All right, I got to take a piss. Let's take a break. We'll come back. I know you got to talk about your Braves a little bit. We got playoffs getting ready to start, and then Mongo might have some notable events of the week.
Yeah, got a little something.
A little something. All right, we'll be right back. All right, we're getting toward that end part of the show. I think all of us have a sponsor in our hand. Is that fair? A big timber for all, except for Biggie.
I have a great value reptile purified drinking water.
Reptile. Why do you say reptile?
Oh, never mind. It just says purified.
What?
Yeah.
What?
It was close though.
Oh,
I slept in my contacts last night. The vision's a little blurry.
yeah, we didn't even think about what the words
This
might
is salt
mean.
water.
Turns out there was only 3 words instead of 4.
Yeah.
So let's let Biggie get his thoughts back together. Mongo, you got the Packers in the game tonight, and you're the lone wolf there. You're not feeling good about that, are you?
Let's not talk about it.
17-3. Who knows? Maybe there's a Jordan Love comeback in the making.
Tommy as well picked the Lions.
They just turned it over again.
See how easy.
correct.
Just threw an interception that's going to be a pick 6.
No, he got tackled at the
Tommy
6.
also picked the Lions.
I don't know. I didn't know.
Oh, okay.
That's all right. Now it's first and goal. Detroit up 17-3.
It was only 2.
It's
2 points.
It's 13 minutes and some change left in the second
Biggie,
quarter.
was that not correct?
What?
2 points?
Yeah.
The Lions were a
spread.
2-point favorite, correct?
This is insanity.
All right,
Jordan Love's passing yards for the first quarter?
6.
9.
Ooh,
Nice.
those are 2 good numbers.
That's an upgrade.
All right, so Mr. Brown, let's talk about your Braves here. We didn't talk much baseball. Ronald Acuna is a unicorn. What the hell, man? Like you were comparing it to like historic things and Ricky Henderson earlier, but is anybody else going to ever join this club he's now in?
I think they'll join it. I mean, I think there's some people, but it probably won't be for like the next 5-10 years, maybe.
And what is it, 70-40? Is that
Yeah, 40-70.
40-70?
Like Bobby Witt's one that comes to mind, but he's not getting any. He's pretty white right now, so I don't think he's going to transcend the test of time.
it's not. It don't seem like that seems like a reach.
Yeah.
For Bobby Witt.
I don't see Bobby Witt getting 70 steals.
No.
So
But, we're down to the final 3 games of the season for most part. Playoffs are not quite set, though. We still got some races. So you got a hot take on the playoffs here? Or anything that you think's about to happen? Or
I don't want to keep making it Braves related, but the fact is, the Braves are winning tonight, which is going to secure them home field throughout the World Series. However, we're going to face the winner right now of the Diamondbacks Phillies divisional series.
okay.
But we got Max Fried, who's in the IL, and we have Charlie Morton, who's actually going to miss the series. He's not going to go play that series. But you're hoping Max Fried comes back, and then you got Strider. You got to win both of those games they pitch, or the Braves probably not even going to advance past the first round.
Are they going to have the same thing last year where they get the layoff and they take the week and
No,
then
their rotation's looking that way, but their lineup looks really good. So I'm just telling you, the hot take is if Philly would repeat against the Braves this year, it's not going to surprise me. It's going to be because of the Braves rotation.
just not having everybody crisp and rolling
Losing
in.
Charlie Morton's huge, bro.
Man, what a savvy-ass veteran Charlie Morton is.
No, he's amazing.
How old is he?
40.
He's 40?
40.
He's a man?
And Jesse Chavez.
I didn't know. I knew he was getting up there, but wow.
40. But he wanted to be that number 3. Because he still throws 96.
Yeah, that's HGH.
So I'm just saying,
Not
like,
really.
I'm telling you, the Phillies are probably going to face the Dodgers in the NLCS. I guess it's my bold take.
Okay, what about your Mariners, Biggie? My Reds are done, so let's just skip over that.
So my Mariners aren't officially done, but we just played a 3-game set with the Astros. We went into it a half game behind them for the last wild card spot. They took 2 out of 3 from us. Our last 10 games are at home. Our last 10 games are against the Rangers and the Astros. I take that back, last 7 at home, last 10 games against those two. We start a 4-game series with the Rangers tonight. We are 4 back of them for the division. If the Mariners were to win the last 4 games of the season, they would assure themselves of at least a last wild card spot. It's not happening. It's been a fun run. I still don't understand why we traded bullpen depth because we've been killed there since then.
Take a breath, buddy.
Well, we're not officially dead. Well, it's just like, come on, give it to me. It's been 2 decades of this. We made the playoffs last year. We get really hot in August, and I'm like, all right, we're back in the playoffs. Give it to me.
He's literally our version of Frank the Tank.
He is.
Frank Fleming over here.
He's getting that one moment where he blacks out and doesn't remember what he says. But
Dude, no, and he's Frank Fleming from Barstool.
yeah, he just had that stuff ready to go.
Yeah.
Like it was up here in the noggin.
Huh?
Children in the yard.
All right.
Somebody just walking through there.
That's your daughter.
Maybe. Anyway, we got to make sure the Bigfoot's not out tonight.
He's seeing alligators and water bottles.
All kinds of things.
People walking through the yard.
Mongo,
I'll say this.
Go ahead.
This is not the year that the Twins 0 wins in the playoff ends because they're going to finish as their division winner and be the 3 seed. They will play the Astros, who are the last wild card in the first round, and the Astros will sweep them.
All right.
I agree with that.
I have nothing to add. I'm ready to hear if Mongo's got some notable moments.
Mongo's mentionable moment.
Mentionable moments. Get that right.
Yeah.
Every time.
We're going to start out local here. A man has been accused of sexually abusing a client inside a massage business at the Huntington Mall. You guys hear about this?
Oh, this is the in the mall one.
I
I know the one outside the mall is a little
He was working at the massage parlor. The man was pushing his genitals into the woman's hand while he was also massaging her and tried to hold her down. The woman was able to escape and reported the incident to the police. Allegedly, she described the man as 6'2", 223, a lopsided head, and wearing a number 4 Cleveland Browns jersey.
Of course. That's where I'd go.
Biggie, you like to talk about alligators. Now this one's not all. This one isn't all comedy. This is venting a little bit.
Uh-oh.
A 14-foot alligator with a half-eaten person was euthanized in Florida. A man saw the gator eating the 41-year-old woman and threw a rock to see if it was real.
It's Halloween season, so you never know.
When the gator moved, he began filming on his phone. So this is what pisses me off.
That's what we
bit.
do, though, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't call for help. You've got a phone. You got 2 options. Let's call 911 for the person being eaten by an alligator.
Or record the death.
Or we can record it.
I know which one's
will
getting
you
me more
choose?
clicks.
Faces of death.
I remember that.
The man stated, I could see that he was eating someone, so I started recording.
That's not how he said it. He said it like this.
Yeah.
I saw that gator was eating that woman, so I thought I'd record.
He became suspicious when there was a puddle of blood in a human body in the gator's mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was his clue that the gator was eating somebody.
Cracked the case.
Also in Florida, let's not leave Florida. Wildlife rescuers in Florida are asking for name suggestions for a half-mouthed alligator. Have you guys seen this?
A half-mouthed alligator?
A half-mouthed alligator. I am not kidding.
Are we talking like in length or the top or bottom's missing?
The top is missing.
What?
This is a true thing. You guys haven't seen this.
Oh, I got to look a picture up.
Yeah. Yeah. Now at home in Gatorland, Orlando, the gator is doing well. The trapper that caught her thought it might look like a propeller got her, but it's now believed that the gator tried to bite Chuck Norris in the dick. In related news,
Chuck Norris is now missing half his mouth after trying to bite Dan Campbell. He tried to bite Dan Campbell in the dick, and he is now missing his mouth, half his mouth.
Holy shit, is this it?
That is it.
Look at this. It's like a spoon.
It eluded capture. It eluded capture for weeks.
Of course it did.
How does it survive?
Did you know Chuck Norris invented the giraffe?
No.
He gave a horse an uppercut.
Did you know that Chuck Norris uses a live rattlesnake as a condom?
I did not.
He just throws it on there.
Okay. You know his tears cure cancer?
Too bad he's never cried.
Yeah.
You know Chuck Norris doesn't flush his toilet? Scares the shit out of me.
Oh, why do those get funny? I don't know. What's wrong with us?
But Chuck Norris has lost half his mouth after trying to bite Dan Campbell in the dick.
We got that. I can't breathe.
Nick Chubb is about to have surgery soon to repair his knee. This is being his second surgery on that knee since college. There's less good tissue to work with, so Dan Campbell has offered to donate up to 3 feet of his own dick to repair the entire leg.
That's admirable.
He was timing this Thursday night game well.
Yes.
Rumor is that even though the surgery is in Cleveland, Campbell was able to donate 3 feet without leaving Detroit. The tip showed up, and Dan Campbell arrived 3 hours later.
Why are we still on this story?
Speaking of dicks in Michigan, Mel Tucker has been fired as head football coach of Michigan
I
State
saw that.
for sexual misconduct. You guys have seen this? Do you know the story?
I know the story, and he's not happy about this.
So, elaborate a little bit. What do you know as far as detail wise?
Oh, it's just like with a coworker, right?
Not exactly. So this is so good. This is so good and bad. It's terrible. He hired somebody to talk to the team about sexual abuse. He hired this person who was a rape victim and then sexually harassed her.
I didn't know that. Yeah. Oh, this is some Urban Meyer stuff.
Yeah, he brought her in to talk to the team and then sexually harassed her. So he pretty much admitted to it. Like he tried to deny and say it was consensual because he was masturbating on the phone. And his answer, his reasoning for this, his justification was, well, she didn't tell him to stop.
No means no.
Allegedly, after being fired, Tucker auditioned to be a news anchor, but was turned down after he misinterpreted when the weatherman stated there's a warm front coming in and took off his pants. We've already mentioned Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. So also in like that dating realm, we've got The Golden Bachelor.
I saw a commercial for this.
It's premiering tonight.
We might watch that since the Lions are up 24-3.
It's happening now as we're recording the show. 72-year-old
72.
Gary Turner. I'm not sure if it's Gary or Jerry. It's Gerry.
That's Jerry.
That's
So
Jerry.
that's probably like Jerry.
Jerry. We'll be choosing from 22 women from the ages of 60 to 75.
Oh, they're also olds?
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought he was just
No,
like...
it's just like it's
it
like
old?
the old folks' home right here on a beach.
Wow.
60 to 75. He's 72. My money's on the 60-year-old.
Yes,
Probably.
amen, brother.
She's definitely got a leg up.
The winner will then compete against Pete Davidson for Jerry's hand in marriage. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Mongo's Mentionable Moments.
Give her a round of applause. Man, what does Pete Davidson have that we don't?
I don't know, but he just begged Madeline Klein, so you got something going on.
It's ridiculous.
I think he's Britney's new man now for her videos.
Oh, she's crazy.
I love it. I'm
Have you-
here for it.
we've all
I'm
seen
here for it.
the Britney Spears twirling knives.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it.
Like, I saw that like 2 days ago, and I saved it because I'm like, I'm going to need this for something.
Yep.
And then I saw the guy doing the hibachi video, and that was just the greatest thing I ever saw in my life.
Yeah.
And,
I saw that. It was great. It was
I
amazing.
remember, like, we were talking about how that conservatorship needed to end.
Yeah.
Like, leave Britney alone.
Free Britney.
I'm kind of regretting that.
No, I love it.
This is entertainment.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, but like, this is bad.
No, it's not. It's
I'll tell you one thing.
There's nothing great about
Chad,
it.
this is Darwinism.
It is. You're not wrong, but
Let us watch it.
it's
Give us something, damn it.
give us the sacrifice.
Yes.
I like some ass, and I'll tell you, until that video, I didn't realize how little bit
She has none.
she has no ass.
Again, Brad, we're all disappointed, but it's still Darwinism.
It is.
Let her just take herself where she needs to go.
How much? How celebrity death pool update? Would you put Britney in there?
No, not yet.
She's not there.
It'd be like 2 years.
No, she's already dead. This is the replacement Britney.
Yeah, we talked
Nah, I
about
don't
this.
think it is.
It might be. All right, so let's open it up. Just the celebrity death pool. If anybody has a chance to change their pick.
No, we can't do it.
Somebody
No,
doesn't like their pick
no.
of Corey Feldman.
No, I like
No
it. I
changes.
just want to remind our
No
audience
changes.
and let people know that maybe weren't around for the initial picking, that we have the celebrity death pool, and right now we're all still in it. Nothing's happened.
Yeah, I'm Michael J. Fox.
Yep, I'm Corey Feldman.
Dick Van Dyke.
He's in such good shape.
And Biggie
He
is.
Jack Nicholson.
The one, the only, Jack.
So
You only say Jack.
Jackson-
You want to know why you only say Jack? Because when you see pictures of Jack floating in the water, smoking a cigarette while he's eating a hot dog on a boat, you're like, that guy is the guy living the life.
Wait till they get a load of me. Classic line.
I like his they send him a drink at the bar, and he wants to know who's sending it until they tell him, well, he started a tab for you. And he's like, ha! In that case, I know who's sending them, and they're all the same.
What?
I
I'll
don't
send
know.
it to you.
He'll send it to us. Mr. Brown's in the floor now.
Flabbergasted there. I was just going to say, if there were one consensus ad, it was like a group ad, who would that person be?
would
Well,
just-
none of us get to change, but if we all agreed there was one person outside of our picks, that is that person.
Dianne Feinstein.
Yeah, I think she might already be dead.
That's true. That's true. How is Mel Brooks still living?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Where are the white women at?
We were talking about Mel Brooks earlier, just because of that clip, the Blazing Saddles clip. I think I know when it's time to stop. Whenever you've made Mr. Brown laugh so much that he's now face down in a pool of his own drool, it means it's time to wrap up the show. So let's take a deep breath, and we'll see those listeners on the other side of it when we do our NFL Stone Cold Lead Pipe Locks of the Week for week. Or are we in 4?
Okay.
5. We're already in 5. So,
No, it's week 4.
That's week 4.
why am I listening to the guy on the floor? He don't know what he's talking about.
Guy on the floor in the puddle of his own drool.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, thanks for letting us invade your ears once again for the We Don't Know Sports podcast. Make sure you give us a subscribe wherever you get your episodes. Have a great weekend. Enjoy some football. See if Coach Prime bounces back against USC and enjoy the NFL slate. And make sure you check out our other episodes for our picks. We'll see you next time. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.